Esports. Now, in just over 4 months from now, some of Scotland's best athletes will head to Birmingham to represent their country in the hope of bringing home a Commonwealth medal. There are 19 disciplines in the schedule, from athletics to swimming and badminton, all of which are undoubtedly sports. However, a new event has been added to the Games, one which divides opinion. Esports will be included as a pilot event. The Commonwealth Esports Championship will have separate branding and medals, but it's thought it will be integrated into the 2026 Games as part of a drive to make the event more appealing to younger audiences. But traditionalists say computer gaming doesn't belong in sporting events like the Commonwealth Games or Olympics. There's no disputing the growing popularity of esports. An estimated 250 million people around the world regularly play, and competitions can draw huge crowds and massive prize money. Some titles have prize pots of around $40 million. So are we approaching the day that a gold medal winner in gymnastics enjoys equal billing as the world's top Fortnite player? Well, let's speak to Josh Martin, a leading simulated racing driver. Josh, thanks for coming on the programme. Firstly, what did you make of the news today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think today we've seen quite a seismic shift in the esports landscape. I think for the longest time, people have been questioning whether esports can be part of the Commonwealth Games or the Olympics. And I think this move today by the Commonwealth to announce that their title's involvement is to be welcomed. It's a huge step forward.
For those who know nothing about esports, then, it not just simulated sports games. It could be anything. It could be fighting games. It could be strategy games. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Esports, by definition, is the concept of kind of taking people who play video games together, have them either competing on the same team or against each other for a common goal. So competitive video games, essentially. So what qualities then do you have to be good at esports? Yeah, I think it's a really good question. Some of the attributes that are quite often overlooked are the physical attributes that you require. You know, studies have shown that when you are competing in some of these top titles, your heart rate can be as high as 150 or 160 BPM, which, you know, is the equivalent of running a marathon. And then the other side of it is obviously the mental. You know, I think if you ask any athlete, regardless of whether it's running, swimming, kayaking, you know, they will speak to the importance of having strong cognitive function. And it's exactly the same in esports, being able to plan the best strategies, communicate with your teams, and just execute effectively in the competitions. You're comparing some things there with running in a marathon, but there'll be so many people sitting at home watching this, you know, shouting at their TV, saying, that is not a sport, it cannot be compared with the marathon. What do you say to those people that do not believe that esports has any place in a competition such as the Commonwealth Games? Yeah, I think that the important thing is to come into this with an open mind. I mean, it's obviously being evaluated and adjudicated by kind of an independent body within the Commonwealth Games, so it's not going up one-to-one with the traditional sporting titles that we may see. But equally, you know, we've got great British sporting legends like Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button, Lando Norris, who have all spoken of the value of esports and gaming as a tool for training. So, you know, if these guys at the top of their game are endorsing it, there's got to be value. And, you know, with the British Esports Association and Esports Scotland, we're building that framework, and really it's about executing and kind of extending the olive branch to work with the real sporting environment. And do you think that this will help those that love the world of esports get interested in watching the Commonwealth Games, because they might not be so keen on watching sporting events, but if it's esports is included, they might want to watch maybe? Yeah, for sure. I think it's twofold. You're right. The younger audience that perhaps have an interest in video games but aren't aware of the Commonwealth Games will be able to engage and see what's going on. But equally, people who maybe have an interest in video games will delve into the real sports. You know, for myself in sim racing, it's such a high competitive level that actually it's the competitiveness that really draws me. And so being able to watch our other great athletes in the UK compete is going to draw me to watch all different types of sports that typically I wouldn't consider. OK, Josh Martin, it's been really interesting having you on The Nine tonight. Thank you very much for talking to us about esports and the Commonwealth Games. Thank you. Thank you.